Hello, welcome to GeekyHiJynx, home and mischief makers, and today I'm taking you back to the 80s.
Sleepaway camp. You won't be coming home.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the new segment on my channel called Back to the 80s, where I watch and review all things 80s and horror. The idea for this stemmed from these documentaries I watched on SHorror called In Search of Darkness Part 1 and 2. I loved them, they were 4 hours a piece and they just flew by. And I really hope to make a number 3 because I love them, and if they do, good times. But from these documentaries, I was looking at them and I was thinking, you know what? There's some films I have not seen for such a long time. There's some films I have not seen at all. And because the channel, I mainly like to watch horrors because that's my favourite genre. I thought to myself, maybe I can make this a new addition to my channel, and that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm going to need your guys' help, and what I mean by that is in the comments below, let's set these off, in the comments below, hi everyone, I need you to give me some suggestions, a list of 80s films. Don't like throw 20,000 at me, but give me like a maximum of 3 in the comments. Then what I'm going to do is in the next video I make at the end, PG's going to come out with a little bowl. He's going to pull out one of the films that have been suggested to me, and that'll be the film I'll watch next, and then I'll watch it and review it for you in the next episode, and then so on and so on and so on. Now the first film I watched for this segment and reviewed is Sleepaway Camp. Now this is a film I've heard about but I've never seen, and I know there's a twist, but I don't know what the twist was. Well, I didn't know at the time, but I know now because I've seen it. But I knew there was a twist, didn't know what it was. And I tried to avoid it at all costs. So in Search of Darkness, I was like, nope, fast forwarded it, didn't know what it was. But at the same time, I was going into this film, knowing there was a twist, trying to find it. I thought I figured it out, I didn't. But what's this film about? Essentially, it's about a summer camp, like most of them were in the 80s, slasher film of course. And it's about a girl called Angela and her cousin Ricky. They're both cousins. Angela suffered a tragedy when she was younger, which led her to live with her aunt, who's Ricky's mum. And during the summer, she sends them off to summer camp, sleepaway camp, although it's not called sleepaway camp. And why is this film even called Sleepaway? Because that makes no sense to me. But anyway, while at the camp, they meet some of their new friends, some bullies, some in between, and some murders start happening. And we're trying to figure out as a viewer who the murderer is and why they're doing this. And I'll say straight from the bat, this was a really fun film. I really enjoyed this. Now, the first 5 minutes are shockingly bad. I'm going to get into that in a second, or in what I didn't like. But let's start with what I liked. Now, I love the acting. I don't care what you say about this film. The acting is so bad, it's amazing. But the acting is good. It's actually fun. It knows what kind of film it is. No one's trying to win an Oscar here. But I like the acting. They done what they needed to do. And the characters are great too, and I'll get into the characters next. But the acting sometimes is so bad. There's an aunt character, Angela's aunt, Ricky's mum. When I first watched this, I was just so disorientated. Like I was, what is this? What kind of horror am I about to watch? Her acting is kind of like this. She's like, did I leave something behind? No. But I did. Or did I? She kind of like talks like that. And I was just really confused looking at the screen like,
Gotta go, Mom. It's getting late.
Why, of course you do, dear. We wouldn't want them to leave without us, now would we? No? No, I'm afraid that wouldn't do.
And as I mentioned, I love the characters in this film. They're all fun. They're all quirky as crap. I'm not going to lie to you. The bully, what's her name again? Judy. Had to write it down. She is so dramatic. Like, she comes along, she's like, well, what are you doing here? And I'm thinking, my God, that acting is really, really bad. But please, I want more of it. I like Angela. She's very introverted, but she's very effective. You know, there's something going on with her. You just don't know what it is, but something going on with her. There's an inner pain, inner turmoil. She's very quiet. Ricky's very protective of her, and that's why Judy, the bully, is always picking on her because she's very quiet. And she doesn't like her because she's got the attention of Ricky's friend Paul. So she's just trying to get Paul to get at Angela for no reason. Angela's not doing anything to anyone, but you know, Judy's a bitch. But I like the counselors in this film as well. The counselors are all nice. Like, you never want to see, you know what, Friday the 13th, you couldn't give a crap about the counsellors. In this one, they're so nice, they're so fun. They're like, you can tell they're there to do a great job. They enjoy their job, like doing the activities for the kids there at the camp. I really like them, so you don't want to see any of them get killed or die or anything. But my God, their outfits are absolutely, like, when I saw one of the main counsellors come out in this outfit, I was just like, what are they wearing? What is going on here? Like, even in that documentary I mentioned on YouTube about this film, none of them mentioned the fashion sense. And I was like, was this normal in the 80s? if you're living in the 80s, was this a normal fashion attire you would wear out and about? But the best character in the film is Ricky, Angela's cousin. This guy is a legend to me. This is a kid you want in your family. You want as a friend. He's got your back. No one's giving you crap if you've got Ricky around. And he loves Angela. He's very protective of her. He's there to look after, make sure none of the bullies give her crap. Even the adults, if they give her any stick, he's straight in there. Even if he's like really smaller than the guys and they pick him up and batter him, he's there to look after Angela. But I just love his swag. Like any guy, any kid that could walk into a disco hall with a giant cowboy hat strutting in like they own the place. You're an instant legend to me, my friend. Like, that is confidence 101. But he has one of the best comeback lines I've ever heard in my life, where he's playing baseball against this rival bunch of friends he doesn't like, and one of them goes to him, "Hey Ricky, eat shit and die," and he goes to him, "Hey, eat shit and live." And I thought, Ricky, that's the greatest comeback I've ever heard in my entire life.
No problem, Gino. This guy blows dead dogs. Just lay it in there.
Eat shit and die, Ricky!
Eat shit and live, Bill.
I also really like the gore effects and the practical effects in this. Like, this isn't the goriest film of all time. It's R-rated, and I can see why, now I think about it, but the gore effects and the practical effects were really, really good. And there's one scene where someone gets an arrow put through their throat, and that looked really realistic. Love the way they've done that. Normally there's like someone with a bow and arrow, and it cuts really quick, and they've already got the arrow in their throat. This one, you actually see it go in and come out. I was thinking, that's pretty cool. There's a scene where someone's got who gets killed, have a snake coming out their mouth. That looked really, really cool. There's one character that gets burnt severely, and you can see like the blisters and the boils literally growing on his face in real time. That was really impressive. And even some of the deaths, you don't actually see. They're not like really gruesome or gory. But one of them, involving a pair of straighteners, which kind of looks like a penis, that is used to kill someone. And you don't see it happen, you don't see anything, but it's implying. So like some of the imagination you have to give this film to imagine how people would have died. So yeah, a gold on practical effects, a gold on practical effects, and I've literally forgot what I was going to say. And gore. This film also contains one of the most legendary moustaches I've ever seen in my entire life. I knew something was wrong. Right? I have this police officer that's early on in the film, once the first death appears, or happens. And then he appears later, and I was looking at him thinking, something different about you, mate. And then in the last 5 minutes of the film, the last 2 minutes of the film, which are the craziest parts of the film and the best parts of the film, what I realised was wrong, and it's his moustache. The guy, apparently the actor done his scenes early on in the film, and he had a real moustache. He did another role somewhere else, kind of like Henry Cavill for Superman. And they gave him a fake moustache, but it was awful. Like, if they'd given him a joke one, like one you can get from Amazon, that'd have been better than this. They literally had like black, almost like sellotape, masking tape, and they just had a moustache there. And it was shiny. So it was like a shiny moustache. And I was like, oh my god, that is hilarious. And you go from that straight to the last scene, and you're like, it was just too much for my senses to take on. But his moustache is hilarious. So guys, I kind of decided now I'm going to spoil my best part of the film, which is the ending. And if you want to watch this film, please watch this film. If you've never seen it, watch it, because the ending is too good for me to spoil if you haven't seen this. So cut to this part right here, or skip to this part, that's what I mean. And I'll take you to my negatives, my issues with the film. But otherwise, I'm going to ruin the ending right now. So basically, Angela's very introverted, likes to keep herself to herself. Paul, Ricky's friend, really likes Angela, and he's chasing her for the entire film. Halfway through the film, Angela catches Paul, the guy she likes, kissing Judy, the bully. And then near the end of the film, Angela goes, "Paul, come meet me down by the docks or down by the beachfront." He's like, "Sweet." So he goes down there. Then all of a sudden, all the murder victims get found. The policeman with the bad moustache turns up. Everyone's looking for the serial killer, and everyone's trying to find all the kids so they can keep them in this little room, keep them safe. But they can't find Ricky, because Ricky got battered by literally the guy that's in charge of this camp, called Mel. Haven't mentioned him yet. Mel runs this place, thinks Ricky is the murderer, because he kills this girl he fancies, and he batters Ricky to a pulp. Literally Like, have you seen Into the Spider-Verse? You know how Kingpin kills Spider-Man when he's like bang, bang, bang on... That's what he was doing to Ricky. Ricky should have been dead. Luckily, my boy didn't die. Then it cuts to the beachfront. Angela's there, but she's got no clothes on. And she's got her back to the camera. And two of the counselors are like, Angela, are you okay? Are you okay? And she's there humming this creepy-ass like little tune. And she's stroking Paul's hair. And then they get closer and closer, and it cuts to the aunt. And it goes back in time to when Angela first came to the aunt's house after her like brother and dad got killed in the beginning of the film. I don't think I mentioned that bit yet, but in the beginning of the film, basically it has a like 8 years before Angela's current age. She's on this boat trip, I think at the summer camp, I'm not too sure, but they fall out their boat because they're having they're mucking around with their dad. The speedboat goes out of control and kills her brother and kills the dad, but Angela survived, and that's why she goes with the aunt. Anyway, it goes back to that part where the aunt is taking Angela into the home for the first time, and that's when you find out that Angela isn't Angela at all. Angela is the boy, the son, and the aunt is crazy and didn't want another boy in the house because she has Ricky, and so she basically manipulated and made this poor kid think, or they're a girl, which is in this day and age a very divisive topic, which if this film came out now, can you imagine what would go on? But anyway, then it goes back to the current time, present day, and at the time I was like, because I'm like, Angela's a boy? What's really funny is the counselors have the same reaction, and they're like, Angela's a boy, but I don't see Paul's head roll out her lap. Paul's dead. Angela gets up, Paul's head rolls on the floor, and they're like, oh, Angela's a boy. And it's like, excuse me, have you not seen the head that's rolling down them? I'd be more worried that she just killed Paul than her gender. But anyway, the scariest part of the whole thing was Angela pulls this face. I'm going to show you this face right now. The creepiest face I've ever seen in my life. But then it pulls away, and what happened in the making of this? They had a real guy, like I don't know how the person was, but a real man, and they made a cast of Angela's face, pulling that face, and they put the cast of the face of Angela on this naked body of a man, and the mask they put on it's the creepiest face of all time. I should say that it's the creepiest thing, because Angela's making this really weird, like she's moving backwards almost like this, all hunched up, and she's making this really weird growling noise, and her eyes, like she almost, her pupils disappear. She looks like a demon. But I'm not lying to you, it's probably the scariest thing I've seen in a horror film. Like, not as scary as in like, I can watch it. But generally, creep factor, it made me feel very cold and unsettled when I saw it for the first time. And then the film just ends. Do you know what happens to Angela? Do you know what happens to Ricky? Do you know what happens to anyone? It just ends with Angela going. And for me, I was like, trying to soak it all in. I was trying to soak in everything I just saw. It was just nuts. Absolutely insane ending, because it went from Moustache Man with a bad moustache to finding out that the aunt literally made like Peter, her nephew, now turned into Angela, her now niece/daughter. And then he showed Paul's dead. She gets up, naked Angela, but it's a creepy mask on a naked dude's body. You see his penis, and I was just like, and the film just ends and the credits roll, and I'm like, am I meant to accept this without any questions? What just happened? But it's one of the most, I would say, one of the most effective endings in a horror I've seen. Not as effective like as Saw, but in my top 5 most shocking twists and endings of a horror film. Welcome back, non-spoiler people. You missed some juicy stuff indeed. But I'm going to go into my issues now. Now, one thing I didn't like, that kind of didn't sit right with me, is the killer kills certain people, which, when it's revealed, makes sense. But there's some kids that are killed in this film. They're on like a little camping trip, sleeping outside, and they're like butchered. You don't see them get killed, but they're just like destroyed. The sleeping bags all cut up, there's all blood, like they've been just done. They've been absolutely done. I don't know why they died, because everyone else in this film, you can say, okay, this is why you died, that's why you died, this is why you died, that's why you died. These kids didn't deserve to die. And I thought, like, that made no sense. So if they'd taken that scene out, it'd have been a better film. But I mentioned the acting earlier. I like the acting. It's really bad, but really cheesy. But sorry, 80s, I love it. But some of the acting is really bad. There's a scene early on in the film, 5 minutes into the film. If you turn it off, I don't blame you, because like, don't stick with it. But the first 5 minutes, it really threw me off, the acting, because it's so bad. There's a girl on some water skis in the beginning, and she is one of the worst actresses in the planet. Really bad. She's screaming, shouting. She's not acting. Anyone they could have chosen would have been better than her. She was awful, really, really bad. Then you go to the aunt, and when I watch this film again, I like the aunt's acting. She's mental, but it's so crazy. I love it. But the first girl on the water skiing was terrible. Really threw me off. There's some other actors in this. Like there's this almost perverted head chef on the camp, and something happens to him, and they just hold on it for too long, and they make it really dramatic. It goes on for a minute. You should have held on for 25 seconds tops, because it just goes on too long, and it's really kind of, yeah, crap in a nutshell. Like, the effects are good when you see all the boils and stuff, like I mentioned in the effects, but yeah, they just hold on to it for way too long. It just gets a bit tedious. But overall, guys, this is a really fun 80s slasher film that is slept on. Get it? Because sleep away and slept on. Anyway, I highly suggest you watch it, because I had a lot of fun with this, and for me, it just kind of showed me that a film like this, made on a shoestring budget, with not the best actors in the world, with a great twist, with some good practical effects, is more fun than like 50%, if not more, of the horrors that come out now, because these kind of films know what they are, and that's the whole point. They're fun horrors. Yeah, they got some like sickening and gory parts in there, but I really had fun with this one. And I suggest you go watch it, because I know you'd have fun too. Yeah, like the acting in the first 5 minutes, it kind of throws you off what kind of film you're about to watch. Yeah, pass down, and it's a great 80s horror film. And that's why I'm going to give Sleepaway Camp I'm going to give it a sparkling bronze, because I really like this film. I'd watch it again if there was like a 80s marathon that was on TV, or if someone wanted to watch it with me. I'd put it on, because I really liked it. Is it good as the other like slashers that came out in the 80s? Not really, but I really appreciate what they've done here. So if you haven't watched it, like I said, go check it out. So guys, that was my 2D80's review of Sleepaway Camp. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it a snooze fest or the greatest film we've ever seen? Comment to the comment and leave me suggestions for those 80s films, so for the next couple of videos I can review them. But until next time, stay out of trouble.